As far as Ohio, I feel like we always had a relationship. Like our relationship was more with the Ohio dudes than what it was with Chicago and even Milwaukee and all them. So I say we influenced them on a lot of stuff, you know, and they help us get to where we at. Cause without Ohio, bro, we wouldn't have been able to catch no run. They embraced us. Like it wasn't no jealousy, it wasn't no hate.
I'm from the O, where niggas barely make it out this bitch, so just imagine.
What I'd say is this, Murder, it's us Ohio boys. You know how we get, you know how us Ohio niggas get down, nigga. Ohio nigga, double O, what's up, yo? Columbus, Akron, Cleveland, Springfield, Dayton, Youngstown, what's up, y'all? Cincinnati, too, I ain't forget about you. You know I love y'all, nigga.
Nigga like me, man, I love the game. I love the hustle, man.
You niggas is not fucking with me, you would never fuck with me. Huh? You niggas is not fucking with me, you don't got the passion, you don't got the wherewithal, you don't got the determination to be in a seat where I'm sitting. You niggas don't know how to reinvent yourself 1,000 times because you don't have that. You want a man because you believe it, you want approval. Approval is not a necessity for me. Approval is a cherry on top. Because a nigga will see your work and you'll get that respect.
Breaking news. Hankin TV is bringing real podcasting back. So if you're not watching Hankin TV YouTube channel, then what you watching? We'll be right back.
Hello, today I want to talk to you about a lady by the name of Lyteria Hollis from out of Alabama State. Lyteria was just recently sentenced to life in federal prison. And for those of you who may not know, life in federal prison means that you will live out the remainder of your natural life incarcerated.
Lyteria had no criminal history, no priors, nothing. Her husband asked her to do things that she normally did in their marriage. Send small little cash app payments and run errands. He had her buy a tracking device for which he said was for one of the trucks for his trucking business. And then her husband had her send small cash app payments to another man in the amounts of $25, $14, and $50. Nothing about that says she was part of a murder for hire plot.
You're looking at the faces of 5 people charged by federal prosecutors in Mobile with a string of crimes. Charges that include murder for hire and violence that left a trail of innocent people dead or wounded. A grand jury returned the indictment this week with details emerging today from the federal courthouse in Mobile. NBC 15's Darren Singleton is working this story for us tonight. Darren, the crimes in this indictment may seem familiar to our viewers.
Yes, Kim, because they came at us fast and furious in the final months of 2022. There were crimes that happened in very crowded and public places, causing innocent people to be hurt and, yes, even killed. A fatal shooting at a Mobile nightclub, another in a Biloxi casino parking lot, a barrage of bullets injuring 4 people at a downtown club, and an innocent shopper wounded at a Mobile Walmart. Federal prosecutors now say all these crimes, along with others, are connected. A murder for hire plot by 4 men and 1 woman who had a target in mind and no concern about who might get hurt along the way. A federal grand jury has now indicted John McCarroll, Reginald Fluker, Darius Rouser, Jaimaurice Pierce, and Lyteria Hollis, charging them with plotting together to murder a Mobile man, but instead shooting and killing the wrong person in a hail of bullets at Bank Nightlife, a club on Azalea Road.
It's been hard to be here every day to look at my son with all those tubes and all the stuff hooked up to him.
But 31-year-old Derek Shavers, a store manager and a father of a 6-year-old, would die a short time later.
I wanted to plead for everyone to stop the violence. I don't want another family going through what I'm going through right now.
But there would be more violence. The indictment alleges the 5 plotted to kill 36-year-old Nicholas Craig, who was gunned down on his birthday in the parking lot of Biloxi Scarlet Pearl Casino. And soon after, 4 people were wounded at Paparazzi nightclub in downtown Mobile. Soon after that, a bystander wounded in a shooting at the I-65 Walmart. Throw in a home invasion and another assault, and you have a 3-month string of violence that had the port city on edge in the final months of 2022. The indictment goes on for 10 pages and includes the crimes of murder for hire, conspiracy to commit murder for hire, carjacking, stolen vehicles, obstruction of justice, tampering with witnesses, possession of a machine gun, and other crimes. A fifth man, Carmelo Cortez Dirks, is also listed in the carjacking and stolen vehicle offenses. But one name seems to be consistent in nearly all of the charges, and that is John McCarroll, also known as Juvie. He and the other four named in the murder for hire plot could face the death penalty if convicted.
What's up? It's your boy Hankin TV, man. But y'all go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. Today we gonna go ahead and we're gonna cover the Lyteria Hollis story. As y'all heard the news report, there's some things that took place, and we feel like she was wrongfully convicted. We got an advocate that's here to speak, that's speaking in her behalf. It's a lot of details about this. We also have Miss Khalifa Bush joining us, who is I'm considering who is a female incarceration expert. Also, the link to her TikTok is in the description of this video, so y'all can tap in with her there. Also in the description is the link to Lyteria's GoSendMe. She's trying to raise money for a lawyer and also to support her children that's left out here. We're gonna bring up her advocate and we're gonna get some details. Okay, if you can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, my name is Cassandra Chess. I am from Mobile, Alabama, and I have been friends with Lyteria since we were in high school. I'm coming on here to try to spread, awareness and hopefully try to get some help with getting that sentence reduced, even overturned, and try to help get some money for a lawyer in order to do so. So that's basically what I'm here for.
Okay. Khalifa, if you can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Khalifa. I'm a reform advocate for people or persons who are incarcerated. I have a TikTok series, if y'all haven't heard it, Married to an FBI Informant. I'm a soon-to-be author, and in January, I'll be launching my female-only organization.
Okay. I came across Lyteria's story on TikTok on a post Miss Bush had shared, and I liked it myself. I did 15 years in state prison, so I kind of can relate. So if you can, Cassandra, go ahead and tell the people who Lyteria is as a person. Tell the people who she is.
So Lyteria is she was basically a stay-at-home mom. She was all about her kids, all about her family life. She is a daughter. She is a great friend, just a good person overall. She's very giving. She would literally give you the shirt off her back. She was not into the street life at all. Like I said, she was doing Saturday morning football for her kids, things like that. She's very dependable. Anything you need, really, if she got it, is yours to have. I can honestly say, without a doubt, she had no knowledge of anything like this that was going on, and she would have never, ever been a part of anything like this had she knew. She's just not that kind of person. She's a sweetheart, really.
Right. And how's Lyteria doing? How is she doing right now?
Well, she's doing okay. She's trying to make the best of her time. She's staying positive. She's really, finding her way with God right now. And she's just hoping, to be released and hoping to get some help in doing so. But she's just trying to keep her head up. She does have a newborn, 4-month-old son that she really wants to get to. She didn't have the opportunity to spend time with him after he was born because of the charge that was put on her. So that's really one of her main focuses, getting back home to her kids and especially her newborn.
Okay. And Khalifa, what drew you to the story?
Well, it was actually one of Lyteria's friends, Miss Alexis, and she's not able to be with us today, but I get people all the time that reach out to me with different stories and tell me, hey, I have a story. What this happened to this person and that person. And lately I hadn't been on it, but I'm about to get back to it. And so I read over the story and stuff, and I was kind of like, wait, like there's absolutely no way that this young lady should have received an imposed sentence of mandatory life in imprisonment. And so I pretty much looked into the case, talked to her friend about things that happened, the original indictment and things like that. And so I was just drawn to the case mainly because she's actually doing time where I did my time at FMC Carswell. And then I heard she was pregnant when she was incarcerated. She ended up delivering her baby while incarcerated. And so, of course, I wanted to be able to tell a story for Lyteria, because in most cases, the stories that I do tell are stories that will somehow go untold and unnoticed if nobody ever talked about them.
Right. And Cassandra, being her friend, longtime friend, how did y'all feel when y'all heard about these charges she had caught? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay, it was devastating. It was a hard time for her to be going through something like that. It was shocking because that's something that you don't expect, and especially not from a person like her. We knew it wasn't true, but just the fact that it could be put on her and she would have to go through a trial and all of that, it was very difficult.
Right. And was she out on bond while she's waiting to go to trial, or was she incarcerated the whole time?
No, she was actually out, but on house arrest. She was limited to what she could do. She could go to work, she could pick up her kids, go to church, things like that.
Okay. We're not gonna really talk about too much of the trial due to she's trying to get an appeal, but I do want to ask you. I think I had read somewhere seen that they had, if you had offered her 5 years.
So that was part of the original plea, I believe, but she was advised to not take that. It's just really, when you're in something like that you really don't know anything about, and then you got these public defenders who, in my opinion, they don't, it's like they not on your side. So she
Right.
just got the short end of the stick. We weren't really educated on how to handle that and how to do that, because we had never had to deal with anything like that, especially her. So it just was, just a matter of not being knowledgeable on what all of that meant for her. In her mind, if she could she knows she didn't do anything. So of course she was thinking, yeah, I'm just gonna go to trial because I didn't do anything wrong and I didn't know about anything. So yeah, it was part of the original deal.
And the reason I asked that is because for them to offer her 5 years and then for her to go and end up getting a life sentence, for them to offer the 5, that kind of make you think they really didn't even have nothing for her to offer 5 years and then to give her a life sentence. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, and that's absolutely true, because all they had really, when it come to her, what they had was she did get a PPP loan back in 2020 when everybody was getting a PPP loan, but they're saying that she didn't have the business or whatever. But I'm here to say that she was a hairstylist and she was doing hair. She did all of our hair. So she might have not had the building, the structure, but she was a hairstylist. So I don't really know too much about that, but they did say that it was fraudulently obtained, and that's what they got her on. That's real. And when you look at the articles, this really all you see attached to her name and the other little stuff, but none of it equals to life, in prison. And even one of the judges, where the judge judged more, he didn't want to give her that time because he knew that she didn't deserve that.
Right.
And she basically needed her own trial. Why would she try it with them? It's a lot of questions that we just don't have the answer to, that we trying to find out.
Right. And that's just one of the many things that stuck out to me. But Khalitha, what are some things that kind of stuck out to you seen while going over it?
Well, the number one thing was the fact that the prosecution used the money exchange that Lyteria was asked to send to one of the other co-defendants, who I believe was a hitman in this case. Her boyfriend had instructed her to send, it was like I want to say 3 or 4 cash out payments, $20, $25, $14, something like that, but it was less than $100, and it was not at one time to one specific person who is also on that case. And the government used those payments to drive home the theory, like I said, that Lyteria paid a hitman, which is absolutely untrue. I wouldn't believe that if somebody, like, if I didn't know anything about this case, I heard that, I would think like, wait a minute, somebody was paid under $100 to do this in small payments like this. I wouldn't even look at that. And I think that, they attached her to this case because of her affiliation with one of the masterminds who was her baby's father. And because, it was her children's father and she did this, they gave her this 5-year plea and she didn't accept it. And because she didn't accept that plea, because she didn't have any knowledge of the federal government and their 97% success rate, she decided that she would take her chances and take it to trial, believing, because in her mind, she knew that she was innocent, that she would go to trial and a jury would hear her side of the story and she will be found, she'll be exonerated. And what a lot of people don't know, in federal cases, conspiracy cases, it's a reason why it's a conspiracy case, because whether you knew the person or didn't know the person, willingly or unwillingly, knowingly or unknowingly, they link y'all together. And when they present this case to this jury, to the judge, it's a telling story. It doesn't specifically say, oh, well, Lyteria only did this. They're listening to this total case in a whole. And because of mandatory minimal sentencing guidelines, the judge, even in Lyteria's case, I think he expressed that he felt like her circumstances in this case was different, and that because of the law, he didn't have the discretion to sentence her to less of a sentence because it's a conspiracy case. So when they put her on trial with these other two defendants, she was just as guilty as everybody else in every role that they played in this, when that absolutely was not the case. And so to me, that's why I believe that mandatory minimal sentencing guidelines really need to change, because it leaves people vulnerable to criminal prosecution for things that they may have a limited role in, like Lyteria. She definitely didn't deserve a life sentence. She doesn't deserve a life sentence.
Right. And Cassandra, how did y'all feel when she went to court and was found guilty?
Like I said, it was devastating. And just to add to that, a lot of people may not know this, but when one of the shootings took place, her boyfriend at the time, well, her kid's father, he was actually there with another young lady. So Lyteria was a stay-at-home mom. She really didn't go out here in town. Like if we were gonna go out or something like that, like for a birthday or something, we would leave, Mobile and go somewhere else to have fun, just to keep, just to be out of town and really enjoy the fun. So it was somebody else that was with him at one of the shootings, and I didn't hear anything about her during the trial. So that was crazy to me. That she didn't get pulled in, but like Terry did. I feel like when you with somebody like that, that person would know more, because she was there, when the actual shooting occurred.
Right. For the people that's just now tuning in, we covering the Lyteria Hollis story. A female in Alabama who we feel like was wrongfully convicted. I got the link to her GoFundMe, to her GoSendMe in the descriptions. Also, any cash apps or super chats will be going towards her proceeds. It's about to be Christmas time. Like I said, I did 15 years in prison. I came across a lot of people in there who said they didn't do it. I can't even imagine how I could feel to just be in there with a life sentence for something you didn't do. You know what I'm saying, or have knowledge of. In the Cash App situation, that's also one of the things that was a flag for me that stuck out. Less than $100 of Cash App. We got all this stuff happening. Come on, $75, $80. This couldn't have paid for that. So Cassandra, let the people know what some of the things they can do to help Lyteria and her family right now.
So definitely, if you can, please donate to that Give, Send, Go, because not only did she get a life sentence, she had 4 sons who are now in the care of her mother, who is 62 years old. So the kids lost their mom and their dad, in that situation. So now they're living with grandma, and it's expensive because, mom, she was, at the age where she's getting ready to retire. Now she's having to start all the way over and with a newborn. I mean, and the kids need things. So, and and we really are trying to get the money up to get a good lawyer to try to help her get out of there. But really, right now, we are focused on trying to get some help for those kids because they need it. Her mom needs it. She needs some help. So that's really, the main focus right now.
Right. And with a high profile case like this, and as far as us just being people not really connected or knowing too much about the law, has there been any attorneys? If we can see the flaws, and I know some attorneys can see, has there been any attorneys that have reached out to y'all?
Unfortunately, no. Not at this moment. And that's what we're hoping to do. That's why I want to thank you for having us on your platform. And thank you to Kalitha as well. We're just trying to spread awareness because you never know who it might, be able to reach. And if any attorney does see this and they want to help and they're willing to, hey, we're open to it.
Right. And Kalitha, do you have like any resources or programs or organizations that like the Innocence Program or something that they can look into?
Well, I mean, I did let her friend Alexis know that, yeah, she can probably contact the Innocent Program. And I think they're kind of ahead of the game because she has wrote a mass letter and sent out to all the organizations that I gave her. And on my behalf, I contacted everybody that I knew just within the reform arena. And I showed them what Lyteria's story is, the video I did on Lyteria, and I reached out for help. So I'm gonna say next month in December, we'll definitely be touching more bases on Lyteria because I'm gonna do an interview with someone out of Los Angeles on her case. I also have a Forbes reporter that's looking into her case right now. I have people that's actually trying to figure out what they can do to help Lyteria.
Right. I got this video I'm gonna play right quick because I got some people who just now coming in and they want to know they want to know what happened. So I'm gonna I got like a quick little Instagram video from Celine Untaught. That's another person who has seen sharing it. Celine Untaught. So man, make sure y'all slide through Instagram and check out Celine Untaught. This is gonna be kind of like a quick breakdown for the people coming in.
Please just give me a couple minutes of your time. A woman named Lyteria Hollis was sentenced to life in federal prison for a crime she didn't commit and had no idea what was going on. Her husband was a co-conspirator in a murder for hire plot, and he secretly involved her without her knowledge. Her only involvement was sending 3 Cash App payments to the hitman in the amounts of $25, $14, and $50. If someone asked you to send those amounts, would you think that they were for something as horrible as a murder for hire plot? I don't think so. And then her husband also asked her to buy a tracking device for which he said was for one of the trucks for his trucking business. Again, nothing about that screams murder for hire plot. And that is part of the appeal argument. There is no way this woman should be spending the rest of her life in prison for a crime she didn't commit and had no knowledge of. And also, one of the actual conspirators wrote a letter saying she had no involvement, had no idea what was going on, and they still locked her up, threw away the key. Her best friend is fighting for her. Her mother is fighting for her. And now we have to step in too. Her best friend created a Give, Send, Go to help with the legal fees to get a private appellate attorney, the special need for the appeal, and then to financially help her 62-year-old mother support her 4 kids, including a newborn. She needs help. Her mom needs help. Her babies need help. Appeals are expensive, and raising 4 kids overnight is also very expensive. So please, if you can donate, the link is in my bio. If you can't donate, please interact with this video and make your own video if you can. And then also, if you can stay the full duration of this video, anything that I make off this video will also be donated to her Give, Send, Go. Thank you.
That's just a quick breakdown of the story. Also, I want to say something to Cassandra as well as the family and pass this message on to Lyteria. It's hard. I know it sounds easy. Just hold on, be patient. It's a process. It's definitely a process. But I definitely think she's gonna get some relief in this. Especially how the laws are changing for sentencing guidelines and stuff like that. You got people like Kalitha fighting for people such as yourself and other friends who trying to get the message out there. So just hold on. I know it's hard. Just be patient. tell her start preparing like she getting out tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. And I did just want to add too that even if you are not able to donate, if you see that link, share that link wherever you can, because the more people that it can reach is really the better.
Right. And also, Kalitha, by you being more attached to the more legal side of things, are they like trying to propose any bills to reduce mandatory minimums?
I don't know of any bills right now, any legislation that's out there for these mandatory minimums. It's just like it's a lot of advocates out there on the front line fighting for legislation to happen that would basically rid this mandatory minimum sentencing guidelines that I think was a part of the 1980s crime bill or something like that, if I'm correct. So it's been going on for a while, and when we're talking about these federal sentences, people who are low-level participants in any crime could get this mandatory sentence just because they're involved in any type of conspiracy, mostly drug cases, but gun cases and violent crimes. Mandatory minimal penalties are life in prison. And federally, life in prison is a life sentence. There is no parole, so you don't get a chance to parole out. You live out the remainder of your life incarcerated. And so that's what my worry is for Lyteria, because I know that she doesn't deserve that sentence. And I believe that, if these laws could change, or even if people way higher than us could hear about Lyteria's story and start talking about it, and maybe get in the right hands like Alice Johnson. I think a letter was prepared to go to her to look into Lyteria's case as well, because it's important that she receives this, some kind of relief on her sentence, because I think she did get poor representation when it came to her trial. A public defender who had no knowledge and had never worked a case like this before, who had to keep resorting to going to other lawyers and attorneys asking for their help. And a lot of people don't know this. And I told this to her friend when she explained it to me. I was like, so they gave her a plea deal offering her 5 years. Why did she not accept that? And I know people don't understand, but when it's federal and you're looking at a 97% success rate on convictions, you could be dead right innocent, but that 5 years is way better than taking your chances and going to trial and getting a life sentence, like which is what basically happened to Lyteria, because she had poor representation. Like somebody who actually was for Lyteria would have explained this to her, let her know how the legal system worked, and told her straight up, like my attorney, hey, the feds on the case for this. If you take this to trial, it's a chance that you're going to risk 20 to 40 years of your freedom. Are you willing to do that? And I had a little knowledge of the criminal justice system at that time, and I knew better than to try to challenge them in court. A lot of people don't know not to do that. And so they figure, we'll take our chances and we'll go to trial because we're going to be able to prove this, and you're not. You're just not going to be able to. And I hate that. I hate that the laws are the way they are. They definitely need to change, because this is the primary reason why our prison system is overpopulated right now, because of these lengthy sentences and these mandatory minimums.
Right. And I think another dirty game they played was highlighting the PP loan fact. That didn't have nothing to do with it. And also highlighting the violence of the situation without really highlighting the part that she says she played in it. They kind of like basically brainwash the people.
I definitely agree on that part. They definitely did use that PPP loan, and that's one of the reasons why her public defender advised her not to testify, because she wanted to tell her story, but she was just, like Kalitha said, it was just poor representation. The lawyers really weren't for her. So she just got the short end of the stick, unfortunately. But we're hoping to get that changed, because it's just, it's just not fair. And then other things that people were saying, like, well, she got the PPP loan to get cosmetic surgery. Not true. Not true at all, because her boyfriend or her kid's dad, he actually paid for that, because he was a legit truck driver, so he was making legit money. So as far as that goes, not true at all. And then the weapon, a lot of people are speculating about the weapon that was found at her mom's home. A situation happened where her boyfriend got in a fight or something with one of their neighbors where they were living at. And this is during, this is before the trial, but while the arrests were being made. He had a fight with a neighbor. They got evicted. So during that time, after he got arrested, Lyteria had to move, and she had to move all that stuff, by herself, because because he was locked up or whatever, and they ended up finding the gun at her mom's house where all of her other stuff was too. So it wasn't just that they found the gun there, and then the gun that they found it was not connected to any of the murders. The ballistics had cleared it, so it wasn't even used. It was just a weapon, that was bought. And Lyteria, she does have her permit, like she did have her gun permit, so she could have, it was legal. It was nothing illegal about anything that she did in any part of this. So that's important to know too.
Right.
Yes, very.
And once again, for the people that's just joining, tell them again how they can help Lyteria and her family.
If you are able to help, the main thing that we're trying to do right now is get help for her mom with those 4 boys. They so sweet. And especially the 4-month-old. Anything that you can donate, if it's $1, it don't matter. Whatever you able to do, if you're able to, if you can find it in your heart, donate to that Give, Send, Go, or just share the link, wherever you can. We are also trying to raise money to get a good attorney. So that's where, the rest of that is going to go toward. So if you're able to help or either share that link, that would be, that would be great.
Right. I'm definitely gonna be donating to it, man. I'm gonna ask everybody out there, man, if y'all can to donate, even if it's just $1. And like she said, if you can't donate, just share the link. We in a time, man, where we know it'll be a lot of scams and stuff going on, man, but it don't even matter. This is a desperation situation. Like I said, I can't even imagine how it feels to receive a life sentence, especially for some stuff you didn't do or have no knowledge of. And just everyday people, us just glancing, seeing stories, you could tell like it was baloney, I'm gonna play my part by opening the platform up to y'all, helping y'all get the story out there. I'm also gonna keep reporting on it and reposting it, and definitely have Lyteria in my prayers.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Because we need to get this out, because we need to get her home. It makes no sense for her to be serving a life sentence. It's just, somebody who never even had so much as a traffic ticket to be getting a life sentence. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah, I was definitely blown away when I seen it. And then the more I kept looking into it, because when I first heard it, because like I said, I had first seen it on a TikTok post, and then it had came up about inviting some of her advocates or somebody on the show to represent her. So I wanted to do my due diligence and look into it. So once I got to looking into it and digging and Googling stuff and checking links, I'm like, man, this ain't right. This definitely ain't right. But I definitely appreciate you for coming on. Like I say, just tell her to keep her head up and just be patient. Just be patient. It's definitely gonna happen for her.
Mm-hmm. And I did too, just wanted to reiterate that she didn't have any knowledge that anything like this was going on. I know a lot of people may say, well, she was there, so she was with this person, so she had to know. I can, this is not somebody that she was just, they shared a life together. So they had these 4 kids together. They had a beautiful life together. So why would she think it was nothing going on out of the ordinary that would make her be suspicious that something like that was going on? Even with the evidence that they have, the part that she played, it wouldn't make murder for hire. That wouldn't cross your mind. Those cash apps wouldn't cross your mind. It's not making any sense. So.
Right, and I don't really think nobody gonna involve knowingly bring a significant other in that and something like that and tell them. It ain't nothing. I do it all the time. To my girl, send my dude $20 for me. Send my dude $50 for me. Send this for me. Send me. Just everyday things that a girlfriend do for a boyfriend, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand why they didn't see through this. But we, us who've been through it, we know how the government play. We know the tricks and games they played. And like I said, that's one of the reasons why they painted that picture with stuff that didn't even have nothing to do with her.
Yeah, I believe they just, I don't know, for some reason, just made an example out of her because the law will do that sometimes. It's really not written for us, so we have to be the ones that they're using to make the example. And I'm hoping that we can, we need to get that changed too. Because I know it's not just her. I know it's a lot of women and a lot of men as well who doing time for stuff that they just, had no knowledge of. Or they got a large amount of time when they shouldn't. It's just we're not knowledgeable enough in that area for me. And I'm hoping that we, can spread awareness to that aspect as well. We need to get more knowledgeable about what these things mean because you never know when you're going to need to use it.
Right. And by her not having no knowledge of it, but by her just being affiliated with the guy and all these things have happened. Have y'all been getting? Has she been getting like any kickback or any hate from the community?
Oh, absolutely. Especially during the trial, because I saw some of the posts on Facebook from like the victim's family, and it's just awful. I don't know to what extent they know of her involvement, but I feel like if certain people really look into the case and look at her involvement and not just make her guilty by association, because at the end of the day she is human. She's a mother of 4 boys. She's a daughter. She's loved. She's our sister. Like, don't just, I know you want somebody to pay for the crime, but it has to be the people who committed it, not just dragging, not just hate toward her when she had no knowledge of it. But she has been getting, some hate, but she also gets a lot of love because she has a lot of people that loves her.
Right, and that's what's most important right there, the love. You got anything else for us, Khalifa? I don't think she can hear me. I think she froze up. Can you hear me? I don't think she can hear me. But like I said, I'm most definitely gonna be sharing the link. I'm gonna continue to do videos on it. Post to let the people know. I'm gonna be sharing the go send me. I'm gonna try to get the word out there for you.
And I definitely appreciate that. That's what we need. The more, the better. The more people that can, see it for what it is, actually read the facts of her involvement. I feel like we can get something going for her, which is really what we need. We want her home. It's about to be the holidays, and she's not there with her kids. It's crazy. It's something that you would never expect, like something out of a movie. You just never know what life can bring your way. But I really appreciate you, having us on your platform to try to spread this and help this, get out to the right people. And I'm just hoping that it, like you said, like an attorney, if an attorney is watching this, if you can find in your heart to help us, or point us to who can help us, we would greatly appreciate that.
Right. And for the people who just coming in who might have missed it, she also gave birth to her child while she's incarcerated, didn't she?
Yes, sir. She did.
That's wild. That's
For
definitely
months old.
wild.
And she didn't get to spend any time with him. She basically had to have him and hand him to her mom. So,
Khalifa, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, you got anything else before we go?
Basically, I just feel like people should look furtherly into this case because a lot of people I noticed under the comments that I received was basically comparing her case to a lot of cases that happen with people where she's guilty because she gave a firearm. She's guilty because why would she send that money and things like that? And they're not looking at Lyteria as the individual. And just because it says that she did these things doesn't absolutely mean that she did it. Like, I know that for a fact. I've been through the criminal justice system before. You have also. So we know that it's that chance that the wording in that may say this, but doesn't exclusively mean that that was your specific involvement. And I think in Lyteria's case, like her friend was saying, the weapon that they're saying that she gave to somebody wasn't even given to anybody. That's just untrue and unfounded. And it wasn't even linked to anything. And those cash out payments, I said again and again and again, was just straight hogwash. Like it was just a reason to use that to be able to put her in the middle of this conspiracy because she didn't accept that plea deal. And
Right.
I hate that for her so much. And I just hope that there's somebody out there that's listening, that's willing to help. And also for her kids and her mother who needs the support that as many people as possible could find it in their hearts around this time of year to give, because I know it's hard around this time of year for a lot of people, but at the same time, I mean, like her friend said, any little thing at all would help. Prayer, sharing a post, even $1, like whatever you can do on the behalf of Lyteria and her family, because she really does need better representation as it relates to her being able to have a fair chance on her appeal when that comes up.
Right. And by being the holidays, if you can't give, this is gonna be a process. Do it at the beginning of the year. Do it next month. Please look out, man, because we know it's a turn you're gonna cause. Like she said, the family gonna need help, and this ain't just like a plea for no money. Look into the case, because like I said, once I looked into it and seen it, I said, "Oh man, this is crazy. This is definitely crazy." And some people might not know. In federal prison, life is life. When they sentence you to life, is life. It ain't no you go up to the board in 15 or 25 years. Life is life. And then, like I keep saying, to be spending life in prison for something you honestly didn't do or have no knowledge of with 4 small kids is just ironic. You know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate you for coming on. Like I say, I'm gonna keep sharing it. We'll do a follow-up. We'll do a follow-up and maybe in the springtime, a couple months, just do a follow-up, see how she's doing. Let her know we're still riding for her. We'll see how that work out.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. We'll be happy to come back on, if we hadn't got anything by then.
Okay. You got anything you want the people to know before we go?
Just that if you are tuning in, just wanted to say thank you for tuning in. If you are able to, if you're not gonna share the link, at least just talk about the story with somebody. You may have an opinion, but somebody else may have a different opinion. So as long as we can get the story spread around as much as we can, I feel like that would be a great help. I know at the end of the day, God has the last say so. So, however it goes, I know it's a part of God's plan. But if you can give, if you can find it in your heart to give, that would be greatly appreciated. If not, just share it wherever you can.
Right. I do got one more thing. I had heard in in one of the news reports, one of the co-defendants even wrote a letter saying that she had no knowledge of it.
Absolutely true. Yep. They did. I don't know what happened there with that. We didn't hear anything else about that. I'm gonna be honest and say I don't know if the judge had an opportunity to read that, because we all wrote letters. Like her friends and family wrote letters as well. And when they have you write those letters, I don't know if the judge really, reads them. So I don't know what
So
happened
let me
there.
add this to that.
Mhm.
So basically, the judge does read those letters, but in her case, because it was a mandatory minimal sentence that carries a life of imprisonment, regardless of anything that you said, her individual circumstances was not weighed, because the judge even has limited discretion. Like, even if he wanted to say, I want to set aside this sentence, or I want to do this, he's bound by the law. And the law states that she gets a life of incarceration. So, that's why people need to read up on these mandatory minimum laws and see the effects of them, and also get very familiar with the laws that govern you and the people that you love, because it can be a matter of life or death if you don't know this.
Right. You gotta have like a page or a social media for her or something?
Yeah, they could just look her up on Facebook. It's just Juste Teria, Teria. That's her Facebook name.
Okay, y'all make sure y'all slide through there. And Khalifa, let the people know what your social medias are.
You can look me up on TikTok at Khalitha Bush 1, Instagram Khalitha Bush, Facebook Khalitha Bush, everything Khalitha Bush. I'll come up.
Okay. And I also had a link to the Go Send Me and Khalifa's TikTok in the description of this video. So the link is there. The link is pinned in this video for the Go Send Me. So if y'all can, man, just hit the link, man. I definitely appreciate you for coming up. Go ahead.
I was going to say, y'all can also add me on social media as well, because I'm going to be posting more about this to try to, help this get out. So on all platforms, it's Despoo, that's DESS_POOHH. And then on Facebook, it's Cassandra Chess.
Okay, I also put I'll put the link to your IG in the description of this video as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks for coming up. I'm gonna stay in touch with y'all.
All right, thank you.
As always, it was good. Thank you for having me.
You already know. Thanks for introducing me to the story.
Anytime.
Okay. That's Lyteria Hollis. That's her advocate. We had Khalitha Bush joining us, man. Look into it. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna pin one of the links to the story and also in the description. So y'all can go through and check it out for yourself, man. It's a deep story. We got these social media platforms. The dumbest stuff go viral, man. This right here is a deep story. I definitely tapped into it, did my due diligence on it, looked it up, and not just saying, and I'm not just saying she didn't do it because they say she didn't do it. I actually looked into it, put the pieces to the puzzle that was provided, and seeing, man, it's just a terrible situation. And sometimes we got to put ourselves in the shoes of other people. How would you feel if you received a life sentence for something you didn't do or have no knowledge of? Would you want somebody to fight for you? So, man, if y'all ain't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If y'all ain't hit the like button, go ahead and hit the like button. This is just the beginning. I got another video I'm gonna do titled "Who is Lyteria Hollis?" We definitely gonna keep it going, man. And always over at Hankin TV, we always go out with a prayer. And I think on this situation, we definitely need prayer. But before that, we always got the Hustle Gang Choir.
Bricks, all white bricks, all white bricks, like 10 bricks. Just get a lick with 50 more bricks. Ballin' like a bitch with all these bricks. All white bricks, all white bricks, like 10 bricks. Just get a lick with 50 more bricks. Ballin' like a bitch with all these bricks.
Turn to your neighbor and tell them, bitch, I'm one of them ones.
We leave before we get out here. I'm finna pray for everybody. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all pray with me. You get what I'm saying? Bow your head. Real talk, bow your head, man. Cause this here is serious. You get what I'm saying? Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you today. Thank you for everything you done for us. You get what I'm saying? I want you to keep pushing me. You understand me? Push me in the right direction. You understand me? You get what I'm saying? Watch over my people, you know what I'm saying? Cover them, you know what I'm saying? Guide them, shield them, you get what I'm saying? Watch over the people that don't like me, you get what I'm saying? I love them too, you get what I'm saying? Look at my neighbor and tell my neighbor I love my neighbor too, you get what I'm saying? God, I ask you that you push me to keep elevating, you get what I'm saying? Keep pushing me to turn up, you know what I'm saying? My vision is too big for this, you get what I'm saying? My vision is too big in my head, you understand me? I ask that I outreach there, you understand? I ask that I climb to the top, to the highest mountain, you understand me, that you have built, you get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, amen, in that way.
Enjoy life, smile every day, fuck what I gotta say.
I had to make